Hi everyone, my name is Maya. I am joining you from Adelaide, Australia, and I have here my colleagues, Dave, who's you just met, Heidi, and Andine joining the session. I will start our presentation with an acknowledgement to country. Next, please, Dave. I acknowledge the traditional custodian of the land I'm meeting from today, which is the Ghana people, and I will pay my respect to elders past, present, and emerging. Thanks. So we are international internship, and I think some of you have heard from us during the in-person session. We do deliver internships across different disciplines. Our main role is to facilitate these internship and facilitate the experience so you can have a meaningful one and kickstart your career. We've been operating for more than 18 years. And we've worked more than 200 host organizations across different industries. Next. So we're in Indonesia. This program will take part. It will be in Bandung. So you can see Indonesia is very big country, different islands and different places. So Bandung is like 3 hours away, or if you take the train, the Whoosh, which is like the bullet train, it's like an hour and a half train ride from Jakarta. Next. So why Indonesia? So we're going to be, the program that you're going to enroll in is going to be with host organization in Indonesia. Indonesia is a very beautiful country. I had the privilege to visit Indonesia last month. The warmth of the people, the friendships, the friendly culture, the culture, it's amazing. There's a lot of culture, very diverse culture, diverse languages across different islands. They are the largest economy in the Southeast Asia, and they are growing really quickly. We, as Australian and Indonesian, have signed the economic partnership agreement, and we have, which is like a very deep collaboration between both countries on a strategic partnership that include education, industries, engineering, and different other industries that we work with as two countries. Next, please. So psychology and social inclusions, this is your program that you're going to be enrolled in. Why does it matter? It's actually a very new thing and growing thing in Indonesia, social and economic changes. They are starting to get access to mental health support. They're looking at inclusions to be as part of their education and development. So what your opportunity taking part of this program is to be part of these changes, to bring both experience from Australia, but also experience, look at what is being done in Indonesia and help them either grow it, work on the inclusions in that, also work on different fields that they're working on in that field. You will develop your professional network and you will gain a lot of experience and skills that you can use for your later career. Next.
Thanks, Maya. So I'm gonna play you a preview of a video. So just as a disclaimer, we have done this program for a few years. However, over the years, this program, especially starting this year, it's evolved into a more complex sort of program. It just went from a 2 week intensive program to a 6 week a 5 week duration, which will give you a more in-depth and immersive experience. But the preview of this video that you'll see still represents the type of organizations that we're gonna engage with, and also a few other experiences, including professional visits to psychological bureau or companies. So I'm gonna play maybe just the first minute, and then I will let you then to search it on, our resources on our website, if you want to see the full video. Okay, let me know if you can hear the sound.
We can't hear that.
Julia, and I'm from RMIT Melbourne, Australia. The program's just been amazing. I've had so much fun. I haven't heard of half of the things, and I got a new perspective of psychology.
To begin with, I reckon I was a bit nervous. I thought it would be a bit much for me, but as I've come to realise, it's just such a peaceful place and tranquil place. I reckon the nature and just the naturalistic elements of Jakarta and Bandung really exacerbated this effect just because it calmed me down.
Doing the projects really kind of think about like how the Indonesian perspective of psychology and social media and how it affects the mental health of culture.
One of the most significant aspects of it was we visited a school, middle school in Indonesia with children. All the children there sort of were very enthusiastic, excited to see us. And that was a very sort of wholesome moment for me, seeing all the love that they gave us.
Visiting the special needs school was really good. Like, I loved interacting with the kids and seeing how they learn and develop the skills. I got the chance to visit many bureaus for psychology in terms of consultations, and then there's also for human resource development programs.
Specifically, I might want to put emphasis on the visit to Faxter, where they talk about the development of psychometric testing, which is really new to me, someone who grew up and was studying psychology in Australia. It's not something we really focus on.
I've also really enjoyed getting to know every.
Okay, I think I'll cap it there and continue. Okay, as I mentioned, so you will be spending 5 weeks in Indonesia. That's 1 week for your language intensive. So you will be spending the whole week for in Bahasa Indonesia language classes in Bandung with Unpad, which is our partner university for this program. And for the rest of the duration, you will be working on your project with your team, and your team will include one Unpad student as well, and they will be from the psychology faculty. So you will be based in Bandung, like Maya mentioned. It's a pretty cool climate city, also big and has all the facilities of the typical big cities in Indonesia. Uh, and it is also the sister city of Melbourne. So you'll see a lot of really great cafes that would resemble cafes that you would normally find in Melbourne. Um, and then you will be working on this experience with Unpad students from the Faculty of Psychologies. There will be a range of themes or topics, which I'm going to talk about later, but it would cover social inclusion as well as specific psychological aspects like psychometric tests or assessments. Um, the program itself would start on the 15th of June, and the applications will close about 3 weeks, oh no, a month from now. So you'll still have time. Okay, for this program, you'll have to complete a minimum of 120 placement hours, which would be sufficient with the time frame that we have. You will also require to develop a new language skills through the classes and also the immersive experiences that will be offered by our partner university in Bandung. You will understand the role of human services organizations in different aspects, depending on what your interests are. And then demonstrate effective communication and teamwork skills because you will be working as a unit, as opposed to just, an individual. You will also have to demonstrate cultural and social awareness in practice. Um, Also build applied research skills. Most of the projects will have a research component, which would be very useful in your field, in your future as well, if you want to continue either in research or in becoming academia. And also at the end of the program, you are expected to deliver presentations of the outcomes of your project. This throughout the years, we've kept this structure. At the end of your program, there will be a symposium where you will be delivering the key learning outcomes of your projects to a wider audience, both in person and also online. Okay, so this is your whole program is going to look like. Week 1, we'll do an orientation weekend and then followed by an intensive language week. So your day-to-day will be just learning languages. And then week 2 and through week 5, you will be doing your internships with your team from Monday through Thursday. Now, on Fridays, you will be doing language class in the morning and then a professional visit in the afternoon. So if you saw the video, we will, in addition to working with your host organization, you will still get an exposure to the other organizations as well through these professional visits. And at the end of your internships, you will do final presentation and symposium. Now, what does this program include? Orientations, including pre-departure orientations before your arrival. Usually we'll do it a month before, as well as upon your arrival, we'll do an orientation weekend. We'll also recruit a few UNPAD students. Each team will have one. They will be working with you with the same responsibilities, but they will also be your point of contact or your guide to navigate your life in Indonesia or Bandung more specifically. We'll also take you to explore the city of Bandung. We provide 24/7 in-country support. So if you have any struggles, we will be able to accommodate that. Either it's medical, mental, or logistical support. We will be there for you. We will also provide you accommodation closer to your host placement. So this accommodation will be a private accommodation for your placement, and there might be a mix of shared accommodation during your first week of internship for language. But that would be twin share. It's only for the same gender. It also includes the organizational visits and the transport that goes with it during organized activities, social events, which we will, try to bring everyone on the program, including programs outside of this program. If there are any other students in the city, then we'll bring everyone together to socialize and network. And then the symposium at the end of the program, as well as workshops. That includes the intercultural communication workshops and also the professional career workshop. Program exclusions, flight cost are not included. So that's your flights from Melbourne to Jakarta and also from Jakarta to Melbourne. Visa cost and passport fees are also excluded. We will be applying the visas on your behalf, but when we will invoice it to you, the price would depend on the exchange rate on that day. Although now, from your perspective, it would be cheaper because Australian dollars is really expensive now compared to Indonesian rupiah. Travel insurance are not provided as well. And then vaccinations, meals and drinks. So you'll be responsible for your meals and drinks throughout the program, except for a couple of meals during organized activities like during orientations or symposiums. Those will be covered, but most of the time you will have to cover your meals and drinks, as well as your daily transportation cost. This includes transportation from your accommodation to language classes as well as to your placements. Okay. Um, Enrollment fees for RMIT is also not included, so you will still have to pay it separately to RMIT. And host specific requirements. For example, some projects would require you to have a working with children check because you will be interacting with children. Then you would have to have that sorted out prior to your arrival in Indonesia, in Australia. Okay. Internet, phone, and home working setup are also not included. However, you will have probably access to Wi-Fi at your placement as well as your accommodation. Laundry, toiletries, and amenities are also not a standard inclusion in the accommodation, so you will have to source that out on your own. However, in Bandung and in Indonesia in general, those would be super cheap and accessible. And if you have extra activities or travel plans or any other items of a personal nature, those are not included as well. So dates and fees. You will be scheduled to arrive on the 13th of June, 2026. The language week will go from the 15th to 19th of June, continued by the internship placement from the 22nd until the 16th of July. And at the end of your internships on the 17th of July, you will deliver the presentations. And then you will depart out of Jakarta or Bandung on the 18th of July. There are NCP funding grants available for this for 5,000 AUD, and the program fee is 5,300. So you'll be out of pocket 300 AUD. The application close is on the 13th of April. This program is suitable for you if you're on your second or third year for psychology and or social sciences as well. It is open for both domestic and international students, and you will earn the credits of the BESC 1492. That's for the psychology field placement. And I think Maya, how many NCP grants do we have available for this program? I think 10, yeah, 10. So, and usually it's first come first serve base. So if you know which projects, which I'm gonna explain shortly, you will be interested in applying for, let us know. And yes, you will need a working with children check and a police record on that. Okay. Do you wanna elaborate on this, Maya?
Sure. So what Dave's mentioned is the NCP funding of $5,000. To be eligible for NCP funding, you need to be an Australian citizen, doing it for credit and enrolled in a bachelor degree, which most of you should meet these requirements. And it will be at a first in, first serve. So as soon as you commit to our program and you commit to your spot and the project, then an NCP will be allocated to you. Then a couple of steps you need to follow up, and then it will be awarded to you. The second part of the funding, it can come from us help loan. So even if you use all the 10 grants, and we still have positions, so we're not limiting positions on projects for just 10 students. So we can accommodate more than 10 students. It's just the extra or the above the 10 student will need to actually self-fund or get an OS help loan. The OS help loan is added to your HEX. It's a loan that you have to pay it back. For 2026, the amount available to students is $10,130. International students are welcome to join the program. However, international students will have to self-fund, which means they won't be eligible for NCP or OS Help loan. We can talk more if there's international student among here or among the listeners. You can just book a consultation with us or send us an email. We'll get you more details on eligibility and everything, and if there's any special discounts that's happening for international students.
Okay, so we have sourced 4 different projects with 4 different hosts this year. And all of those projects are real life projects, meaning these projects are not made up projects only to accommodate your needs, but rather it comes from the needs for this organization. So you will be contributing in different ways or forms. So I'm gonna start with the first one, which is with Yayasan Jari. Yayasan Jari is a small not-for-profit organization. Sorry. Okay. In Bandung, and they provide free medical, psychological, and also legal support to women and children affected by domestic violence. They also raise community awareness to prevent abuse and strengthen inclusion. Now, the project that they've put forward has something to do with child safety and gender responsive prevention of sexual violence in urban as well as rural Bandung. So with this program, you will be interacting with both women and also children. So mainly in the urban area of Bandung, but there will be instances where you will be traveling to slightly outside of Bandung to the rural areas. Okay. And you will, focus on effective prevention for child sexual violence, which can affect children's mental health, sense of safety, and also social development and learning outcomes. So that would be the first one. So if you're interested in this issue, as well as interested in like educational psychology or developmental psychology, this might be suitable for you. Okay. The second one is very different. Partner Inc. or Partner Inc. Is an Indonesian learning and consulting organizations. They usually design people-centered trainings and organizational developmental programs. So they develop learning tools for individuals as well as corporations. So the background of this project comes from the experience of many students and also early career professionals who face psychological barriers when they develop their careers. So your job is to develop a digital learning module that will support these learners in strengthening their self-esteem and confidence in career development, including communication confidence in professional English context where relevant. I was also told, like, as a side note, their organization is is a young organization with young people, so very high energy, and they also expect people with the same level of enthusiasm. So if that sounds like you, then this is definitely for you as well. If you are passionate in educational, like psychological educational learning and developing tools for it, yes, this would be for you. The next one is with PIP Bandung, which is part of the University of Pajajaran Psychology Faculty in Bandung. So their university is in Jatinangor, which is like 1.5 hours away from Bandung, but PIP is based in Bandung. And their project has to do with exploring disability inclusion programs in practice through their program, which is called Teman Disabilitas, or Disability Friends or Friendly. So for this project, you will be working with your team to observe educators in special needs school and figure out the best strategies to, help these students learn as much as possible. So, like your observation skills, empathy, and awareness for disabilities is expected as well for this project. So you will be exposed to observe inclusive educational environments and required to identify the best teaching strategies to accommodate special needs for different students. So if that's something that you're interested and passionate about, so you might consider this as well with PIP. Okay, the last but not least is with Faxter. I don't know if you remember, it was mentioned during the video as well. So Faxter is a leading Indonesian psychometrics and assessment provider. They usually develop research-based psychological tests and online tools used by organizations for different purposes, including for recruitment. So it's very normal in Indonesia, especially big corporations, for them to include psychological or psychometric tests as part of their recruitment process to make sure that they have the best or most accurate profiles for their organizations. So this in this organization they actually have phases of uh, developing these psychometric tools, and you will have the opportunity to experience all of them. So you will start in research and development, and then once you know the background of what tools are required for specific needs, then you will go and move towards the product learning and engagement. You will then design an end-to-end learning and engagement materials, including the manual on how psychologists will be using those tools later on. And last but not least, you will be engage with the business development team on commercializations. This is a for-profit organization in psychological field. So you will be required to build a go-to-market strategy, including competitor analysis, marketing approach, as well as pricing to target sectors such as corporates and universities. So if this is something that would also spark an interest within you, definitely something to consider. So those are the available projects. I think I talked about language and cultural immersions, which will happen in UNPAD for your first week. And then I think we can skip it through to the application processes, yeah, Maya? Okay. Oh yeah, visits during Fridays to different range of organizations. You will be getting support from RMIT academics. I think Loretta's here. And then you will get support and feedback from your project supervisor from the host organizations. There will be academic support from the academics from UNPAD as well. And then you'll have an overall pastoral support from international internships. Okay, I think I'm gonna skip through all the way to the stages. Back to you, Maya.
Thank you, Dave. So what do you do next? So if you look at these projects, you're interested in one of these projects, all you have to do is go to our website, click the button that says get started or book a chat, and then put in your application. So all you have to do is put in your details like name, email address, ID, degree, and then there's a small text box where it says additional information. Just put the preferred projects. You can name 3 preferred projects, put them in your order of your preference, and so we can allocate projects as we go with students. So if you actually have more questions, we are having 2 drop-in sessions coming up, one on the 18th of March and one on the 8th of April. So everybody is free to come and join these drop-in sessions. Myself and the team, Dave, will be available on these days, and you can come and ask any questions that you'd like. If you can't make these sessions and you would like to speak to us on one-on-one, you can always book a consultation with us. So once you do your application, you will be sent the next step is to book a consult. So you can pick a date and book a consult with us. But if you can make one of these ones, you can just disregard the next steps after your application to book a consult. Once we have all the preferences, what we're going to do is we're going to group students together based on their preferred projects. Obviously, we do have capacity for each one of them. So I think we'll get 3 or 4 students for each project. So once we reach that 4 students, then we will close that project. And if you have it as your first preference, but it's already full, we'll move to your second preference. We will invite you to our portal where you can start your registration process, where you can put your dietary requirements, your travel, all the details about yourself and stuff that we need for your visa, for example. But also there will be a contract there. The contract will be for this program, so the start date, end date, the funding that you will receive as NCP, and the program fees. There's terms and conditions and cancellation clause. Make sure that you read these very carefully and then sign your contract. There will be a $200 deposit that you need to pay. So that $200 is part of your program fee. So we said the program fee is $5,300. The first payment that you're going to be doing is $200, and this is how you commit to the program, and this is how you reserve your spot on these projects. So once you sign your contract and pay your deposit, then we confirm your spot and we start the placement process. We'll add you to a WhatsApp group so you can be in communication with the team throughout this process too. Next slide. Some of the host organization do ask us for CVs of students. So if you didn't upload it during the application process at the beginning, we might need you to upload it or send it to us at some stage. So make sure that you update your CV and send it through. Your final invoice will be paid at least a month before your travel. However, if we know who's going to get NCP. So usually RMIT will pay your NCP to us. So you don't have to be out of pocket for the 5,100, which is the remaining amount. RMIT will pay the NCP grant to us, which is the 5,000, and then the remaining fee for your final invoice will be $100. After that, we process your visa. We'll send you the visa. We'll send that with an invoice. I did put in the chat the invoice. The visa cost is around $200. Obviously, because of the exchange rate at the moment, it's around 180, 170 something dollars. So cheaper than the usual because of the exchange rate. All the students will join a pre-departure briefing that we will organize, and then you will start preparing for your experience with us. Next.
Perfect. Thank you, Maya. And now I'm going to open for Q&A. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to unmute yourself and ask the questions. Or if you're too shy, you can also type in your question in the chat box. I think Tram has a question. I think Andin has answered regarding international students funding support. Yeah. Yes, we can talk about that during the consultation. Yeah. So Tram, you can book that consultation session with us. Any other questions from Scott or Coy or Michelle? No?
I do want to mention with RMIT, you still need to do one more process. So once you pick your project and you want to do a program with us, you'll be sent a mobile link, which is that you need to be doing an application through. So you will do another application with the Global Experience Program unit with RMIT, and they will be assessing you for, obviously they will check your eligibility for NCP and assessing you for that, but also they will be the ones who will organize your travel insurance, for example. They will organize also your NCP to be paid to us and all of that. So that's one thing that you need to add, or I needed to add as one of the processes that you need to do once you confirm that you are with us on this program.
And also on a side note, for those of you who didn't attend this session but is now watching it online, book that info sessions or drop-in sessions. Come to those drop-in sessions, and we'll talk about each project deeper. And also, if you would like to be in a team or in a group with someone else in particular, you can also flag that out to us early on, so we know that we're gonna put you in one team, but depends on the availability and the capacity of the project. Okay. If there are no more questions, I think we're gonna close it.
Wrap up.
Yes, wrap up. Thank you so much, everyone. Looking forward to receiving your applications and hopefully meeting you in person here in Jakarta and Bandung. Loretta, would you like to add anything?
No, just the students, if they're interested, just to reach out to you or myself, and I can redirect the questions to the team. And thanks to Scott, who also joined, who's the co-coordinator. Sorry, I should have mentioned that earlier. I didn't get his name.
No worries.
And Mobi, yes, for students that are directed to Mobi. I don't think that site's up and running yet, but I will get onto that very soon.
It's one of the next steps.
Next steps.
Yes, if you have any questions, you always come to the drop-in session, or you can always email us on info@internationalinternships.com.au. You can also reach out to Loretta, and she'll pass on the questions to us.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone, for joining. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.